you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome to this new day and to episode 2 of Yah is preparing the chosen for power. If you haven't seen episode 1, please watch that first before continuing here. Seed of Yisrael, our brother Daniel, is with us again.
Shabbat Shalom, Zion.
Brother, let's jump right into it.
So let's look at Proverbs chapter 3 and 11 through 12. And it says, "My son, despise not the chastening of Yahuwah, neither be weary of his correction. For whom Yahuwah loves, he corrects." Why do you think we've been going through all this captivity and stuff? It says, "Even as a father, the son in whom he delights." And so, we are his children, we are his chosen. So yes, it's going to seem like we're going through a lot because we're going to be, we're going to be set to high standards and we're going to be put back in our rightful place. But in order for the Most High to do that, he's going to have to take us through the fire to mold us. And it's only for our own good. So don't take it personal. Take it as a blessing. Take it as worthy of being chosen to go through this. All right. So let's go ahead and go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 13. And it says, "Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire. And the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is." And see, that's why I keep telling you, Zion, that it's going to come a time where the true test is going to come, whether we're real or whether we're fake. It's going to come. Right now, all this stuff that's going on in Zion, okay, we're going to see where it goes. We're going to see where it goes because you're going to see the true remnant start to come out and start to show. And you're going to see the fake ones, the tares. You're going to start to notice them even more and more. And as time is getting closer to the end, we're starting to see that. So let's go to Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 9. And it goes on to say, "And I will bring," and this verse, I want you to pay attention to this verse because this verse is very important. And I wanted to say this one so I can bring out something. And it says, "And I will bring the third part through the fire." And, and it's talking about his chosen, his elect. And this right here tells me that, there's going to be a lot of our people that are not going to make it, Zion.
So many are caught up in religion, Satanism, traditions, and all manner of things outside the Most High Yah.
He says, "And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them." And what's happening right now, and we're starting to come into the beginning stages of this, but it's going to get more intense, Zion. I'm telling you, we're going to see more of our people slaughtered, discriminated against, everything from A to Z. And then it goes on to say, "I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahuwah Elohei." So for the time being, we got to continue to work out our salvation with fear and trembling and put our full trust in the Most High, because we're entering into a great falling away, Zion, within our own people, and we're starting to see it more and more. I mean, look at here, Zion. We get it. We know that we're living in the last days. I mean, literally in the last seconds. And we don't know how much longer this world is going to go on before everything breaks. And what we need to be really worrying about, Zion, are we doing everything that we need to do in order to please the Most High? Are we working out our salvation with fear and trembling? Are we preparing ourselves to receive the kingdom? Those are the questions we got to ask ourselves. You can be concerned. You can focus on the wins and date settings and all that stuff. None of that's going to matter if you're not ready to receive the Most High. And, and we can look all around us. We know that these things are going on. There's so much stuff that's happening. They're not putting it in the news. And, we just had this major storm system that hit the Midwest. And I think in one day they had like over so many tornadoes, 150. I don't know. It was like, I think it was that many. But I mean, it was a bunch of tornadoes that just hit at one time. And that's not including all the other times, during this storm system that came through. Massive floodings everywhere, massive sinkholes happening everywhere. And I'm going to tell you something, Zion, that it's been reported that this has been the wettest. This has been the wettest and most rainiest season in U.S. history. And I'm going to tell you that's going to lead to a lot of other things, because it's going to lead to extreme heat. It's going to lead to extreme dry weather. That means it's going to be more intense fires. I mean, we're going to see an all-time high of drug overdoses amongst the heathens. And, suicide rates are rising. Pestilence, plagues, all kind of stuff. It's happening so increasingly. It's fast. It's getting faster and faster. And every year that goes by, it's like it's becoming more and more intense. And it's like every year there's new record-breaking storms and fires and what have you.
There's more and more crime going on in our communities as well, Zion, especially among the younger generation. We know that there is a war going on in the land called Israel.
And so the elites or the powers that be, they have to make sure that the world believes that their God are protecting these old wicked Khazars that are over there claiming to be us. So, but it's going to get to a point where they can't hide nothing.
One thing for sure, ABBA YAH knows every one of his sheep.
So many reports are coming out, and I'm telling you, record-breaking reports, and they're trying the best they can to try to hide all this stuff, And as we're seeing our people being more and more discriminated against, shot down, you name it, and that's the result of what our forefathers failed to do. Had we had our own stuff, had we had our own businesses, our own companies, we wouldn't have to worry about begging for jobs from our enemies. And like I said, it is what it is, and this is where we're at. We're at a point of no return. It's going to take a divine act of power. And that's exactly what's going to happen. The Most High is, he's just going to have to come and deliver us from this, because we can't. We're so far at the bottom right now. It's ridiculous, and we can't rise up from that, because the damage has been so great that we cannot. And that's why I said it's going to take an act of divine power to do it. Yeah, we can come together in little groups and spittles and here and there. But that's not going to really amount to anything if all our people are not on one accord. And that's why the Bible says that the Most High is going to take a third through the fire. That's the way it's going to be, because majority of our people are going to be destroyed. So he's going to wrap up the elect, the few chosen, the remnant, take them through the fire, prepare us and get us ready so that he can bestow his power upon us, so he can deliver his people, and it's going to be a done deal. So we just have to prepare ourselves and get ready, because the Most High is getting ready to unleash hell, Zion. I mean hell, and the Most High is not playing with these heathen nations. So I want you to write these scriptures down, because we're going to go over some scriptures right quick before we move on. So write down Isaiah chapter 34. Isaiah chapter 34 and verses 1 through 2. And let's look at that. It says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Elohim is upon all nations." Y'all hear that? not upon some nations, upon all nations. And his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. And this is past and future, but more so future, because I'm telling you, this thing is getting ready to rear up, and the Most High is getting ready to throw down. And let's go to Nahum. Nahum chapter 1 and verses 3 through 4. And it goes on to say, Elohim is slow to anger and great in power, and will not all acquit the wicked. In other words, they ain't getting away with nothing. I don't care how many apologies they try to make, what they try to do, how much money they try to give for the cause. The Most High will not acquit the wicked. And it says, Yahuwah hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. He rebuketh the sea and maketh it dry, and drieth up all the rivers. Bashan languisheth, and Carmel and the flower of Lebanon languisheth. What's been happening lately, all these increase in storm patterns. It's getting more and more intense, and we ain't seen nothing yet. Let's go to Micah. Micah chapter 5 and verse 15. And it says, And I will execute vengeance and anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. Y'all hear that? Such as they have not heard. So that means that all the time that people have been on this earth, we're going to see such vengeance, such destructions that has not been seen since man has been on this earth. And that's going to be crazy. That is going to be crazy. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 30 and verse 3. And it says, For the day is near, even the day of Yahuwah is near, a cloudy day. It shall be the time of the heathens. Now we're starting to see the beginning stages of that right now, with all the things that are going on around the world. And why is it going on around the world instead of just one place? Because our people are scattered to the four corners, and we are amongst the heathens wherever we're scattered to. It's going to be devastating. All right, let's go to Luke. Luke chapter 6 and verse 23. It says, Rejoice ye in that day, and leap for joy. For behold, your reward is great in heaven. For the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. So the Most High wants to, I'm telling you, the Most High fights for his people. It may not seem like it right now. It may seem like we're just being devastated, we're being stomped upon. But like I said earlier, it only seems like that on the surface. But see, deep down, the Most High is working his miracles through his people. And you got heathens that love to try to debunk who we are, because what they do, the first thing they do is when they try to debunk us, they go and pick these bottom of the barrel camps. These raggedy, hobo-looking camps, spewing all kind of abominations out their mouths, and they pick them. See there? Those are the Israelites. Well, I'm going to tell you something. They don't represent the Most High. They don't represent the Most High's people either. And so you can't look at that, Zion. We got to go with what the word says. All right, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 25 and verse 17. Ezekiel 25 and verse 17. And it says, And I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes. And they shall know that I am Elohim when I shall lay my vengeance upon them. So what we're seeing right now, this is nothing. All these little storm patterns that are increasing, because see, the heathens, they still don't quite believe yet. They still don't quite know what's happening. But the Most High is going to make it so plain and so clear as day that they're going to know that the Most High is fighting for his people. They're going to know. And I want you to keep an eye on Israel, Zion, because see, this whole thing with Israel that's going on right now with those Khazars, their cover is getting ready to be snatched from them, right off of them. And they're going to be revealed for the devils that they truly are, like the Bible says, the synagogue of Satan. But everything is coming together, and I'm so excited about it too, because it's just a matter of time. And every day that goes by brings us closer and closer to the day of Yahuwah. All right, let's go to Ezekiel, same chapter, Ezekiel 25 and verse 14. And it says, I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith Elohim. Read that again. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. So what does that verse mean by that? Well, those of us who are proclaiming this message, who are quoting these scriptures, saying what's going to happen through the scriptures, what's going to happen to these heathen nations, the Most High has given us power to reveal those things, and that's what's going to happen. So the Most High is using us to give the warning of what's going to happen to these heathen nations. And, they're laughing at us right now. They're sitting back, oh, these old black niggas, they ain't gonna do nothing. They just looking for an identity. They just have an identity crisis. They love to say that and everything. But you just wait. The hammer's gonna drop, and you're gonna see the real deal. And you're gonna be trying to hide in caves and in the crevices of the rocks, and you're gonna be asking the rocks to fall on you because you don't want to bow down to a so-called descendant of slaves, a Hebrew descendants of slaves. So you're going to try everything. They're going to try everything they can to try to deny this. All right, let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 30. And let's look at verse 11. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 11. It says, For I am with thee, saith Elohim, to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations, whether I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. So what's happened? We talked about the going through the fire earlier. It's to help correct us. It's to help purify us.
We've been brainwashed through all the religions and traditions, and these impurities must be cleansed from us. Either we're with Yah or we are with Satan.
And it's sickening and it's sad, but the Most High is getting ready to break all that mess up. And when that economy crashes and fails, we're gonna see who are really dedicated to the Most High and His people and who are not. And especially when that paper ain't coming in. Oh man, I gotta feed my family, and we're gonna see who's real. And one thing I have a problem with our people who are, just caught up with, who are sleeping and selling drugs to our people, and I despise that kind of stuff. I despise any Hebrews that take advantage of their people in any kind of form or fashion, and it's just crazy, and the Most High does not take that lightly, so, we're all going to have to answer for that stuff, Well, I got to feed my family, so, drugs is the only thing I can do. Well, you tell that to the Most High when He comes back. All right, so let's go to Ezekiel 7:25. Ezekiel 7:25. And let's look at that. And it says, Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. And so, these heathens, they know that something's happened. They can't quite figure it out yet. They still blaming it on these weather systems, whatever they call it, satellites that create these kind of weathers and stuff. There's a name for it, but I can't think of it right now. But they're going to find out soon enough that it has nothing to do with that. This is the power of the Most High that's bringing destruction down on these heathen nations. But it's going to increase more and more, and they're not going to be able to escape it. And a lot of these people are looking for peace. They're trying to find peace, but they realize that everything that they thought was the great American dream, the great white privilege, is coming to an abrupt end. And that's why you see the suicide rates going up. People losing jobs, and the cost of living is going up more and more faster than what the pay is, and people can't afford anything. It's like here in California, it is highway robbery out here in California, and it's ridiculously expensive out here. So, get prepared because it's only going to get worse. All right, let's go to Zechariah. Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8. Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8. And let's see what that says. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Elohim, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. I mean, we read this earlier, that the Most High is going to take a third part through the fire. Remember that, Zion? A third part. So there's going to be a lot of people that's going to die, Zion. And unfortunately, a lot of our people who are clinging to these heathen nations, they're going to die. They are going to die. And that's just the bottom line. But he's going to preserve the third. This is Zechariah 13:8. He's going to preserve. He says, but the third shall be left therein. And when you read the next verse, verse 9, then you'll see the third is going to go through the fire. I mean, this is some amazing stuff, Zion. This is very amazing, because I know it's frustrating. I know it's depressing seeing our family members hear this truth, but they not accept it, and I know that it can be mind-boggling, but, we're just going to have to accept what the word of the Most High says. And the only thing we can do now is just we can just pray for them, and that's it. You can't force them. You can't beat them. You can't beat it upside their heads, because, they're going to make their choices regardless of what you say. And it can be the straight up truth, but, they have to open their hearts up to the Ruach. So let's go to Luke chapter 21 and verse 26. Luke chapter 21 and verse 26. It says, men's heart failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And this is twofold, because it's not only talking about these world leaders, the powers of heaven, because heaven represents rulership, but also the physical earth as well. Look at all the stuff that's happening right now. Look at all the shakeup with these leaders, these world leaders that are happening. Men's heart failing them for fear. The heathens are becoming afraid because they feel like there's no more future. They're all there. Everything that they've ever known is coming to an end, and so they're scared. They're going crazy, and out of that, they're lashing out at Yah's chosen people, because they have no other way out. And now all these heathens, they went out and bought all these guns when Obama became president, all that stuff. And you know what? They're going to use them guns on themselves. That's what's going to happen. They're going to use those guns on themselves. That's the way the Most High is going to have it fixed up. Thinking that they're going to come and try to start a race war with us. That ain't going to happen. All right, so let's go to Zephaniah this time. Zephaniah chapter 1 and verses 14 through 16. And please make sure, brothers and sisters, you write these scriptures down, and you can always stop the video and go back and just review. So, and it says, you have Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 14 through 16. And it says, the great day of Yahuwah is near. It is near, and hasten it greatly. Even the voice of the day of Yahuwah, the mighty man, shall cry there bitterly, that the day is a day of wrath. You hear that, Zion? A day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wastedness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess. Who's it going to be a gloominess for? It's the heathens. The Bible already made it clear that he's going to bring down wrath upon all the nations. It says a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And y'all notice that there's been an increasingly wickedness, like the wickedness of a wicked spirit that's been just creeping over these heathen nations and our people who are clinging to them. And people are getting worse and worse, Zion. People are getting worse and worse. And our people keep going to these folks, begging for a morsel of bread, begging to be in their restaurants. You know, there was an incident that happened recently. There was a black couple who, I guess it was a camp outside. I guess it was some kind of campground in Mississippi, something like that. I'm going to play the video for you as well. But it was a campground in Mississippi. And this Hebrew couple decided that they wanted to check it out, maybe possibly rent a cabin or something there, but they were met with great disappointment. They got their wake-up call. Had we had our own campgrounds as Hebrews, had our own stuff, they wouldn't have to worry about this kind of stuff. See, and this is what I'm talking about, Zion. But we keep begging these people for their acceptance.
And that's when things took a turn for the worse.
She jumped out and the gun was pointed at me, my husband, and our dog. It was just pointing at us. And one finger was on the trigger, the other finger was on the lever. On the lever of the revolver.
Richardson says that's when she pulled out her cell phone. The woman holding the gun identified herself as the property manager, but her choice of words were less than professional.
She was just like, get, you don't belong here, you don't belong here, you don't belong here.
Richardson says the confrontation was shocking.
Time stopped, everything stopped.
Yeah, I was confused with what was going on.
Right.
Because, we ain't like we were posed to threaten anybody. We're out there walking our dog. There's
Right.
nothing harmful about that.
The fact that she used get like we were a dog. You say get to a stray dog that's on your porch.
And Zion, I hate the fact that our people have to keep going through this.
Some may act surprised, like this has just started happening.
Who pushed me 10 feet? Sounds like you didn't do that. No, because they're saying he didn't.
I didn't put my hands on you, woman.
Are you kidding me?
Many Karens have been calling the police on our people, and things continue to happen.
This has been going on for a very long time. This is the thing that Malcolm X was talking about.
They attacked the victim, and then the criminal who attacked the victim accuses the victim of attacking him.
Had we had our own, had we just obeyed the Most High, we would have our own campgrounds, we would have our own companies, our own stores, our own hair shops, everything. We would have our own stuff, and we wouldn't have to begging these people for a dime. Have our own banks. But no, we want to integrate, and we want to beg Massa to accept us and let us join with you. All right, Zion, you go right ahead and do that. You keep doing that, and you're going to see where it gets you. But like Malcolm X said, don't be complaining when you go on these people's property and they pull a gun on you and they don't want you on their property. They don't want to hire you. Because go blame our forefathers. Go blame them for selling out.
We must think back to Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31 over and over again. Take us back to the scriptures, brother.
All right, so let's go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 38:22. Ezekiel chapter 38:22. And it goes on to say, and I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him, an overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone. And all through the scriptures, we're going to see these kind of things being prophesied and what's going to be taking place in the near future. Let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 7. And many of y'all know this verse. Jeremiah is one of my favorites. Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 7. And it says, the lion is come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. He is gone forth from his place to make thy land desolate, and thy cities shall be laid waste without an inhabitant. Boy, this is in the near future, Zion, and we're getting ready to see some miraculous things Go read the last 2 books of Ezra, 2nd Ezra, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, destruction like we've never seen before. All right, let's go to Obadiah. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 15. And it says, for the day of Yahuwah is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So don't think that these people are going to get a free pass. Don't think that they're going to be acquitted. Don't think that they're going to just get off scot-free because their forefathers did this to us. No, they're going to answer. All of them are going to answer. All right, so let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 19 and verse 21. Deuteronomy chapter 19 and verse 21. And it goes on to say, and your eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, and hand for hand, foot for foot. The Most High is not going to play. The Most High does not forget, Zion. He will avenge his people. He will avenge his people. We're not going to be able to do it because we don't have the power to do it. But the Most High is going to avenge his people. The thing we need to be doing is getting this gospel out and preparing ourselves for what's getting ready to come. All right, so let's go to 1 Peter. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. It says, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahuwah. Now, Zion, don't think that we're not going to be judged either. Just because we're Hebrew descendants of slaves and we can't do wickedness, Zion. We cannot do wickedness and think that the Most High is going to acquit us or give us a free pass. We're going to have to turn from our wicked ways, and we're going to have to come unto the Most High and put aside all that foolishness. And so everything that we're seeing that's going on in Zion, I said earlier, the Most High is going to auto-correct it. And he has ways of auto-correcting things, Zion, I'm telling you. And that's why you don't have to worry about all this stuff. Don't let it bother you. Yeah, there's a lot of falsehood going on, people doing their own stuff and fleecing the flock, pimping the saints, selling their BS t-shirts and what have you, and whatever they're selling. But don't worry, the Most High is going to auto-correct all that stuff. And he's going to shut all that down and close their mouths at the same time. So it goes on to say, it says, for the time is come, and this is 1 Peter 4:17, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahuwah, and if it first began at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel or the Basorah of Yahuwah? So ain't nothing to play with, Zion. The Most High is no game to be played with. Okay? And we better get that straight. So let's go to Ezekiel chapter 9. Ezekiel chapter 9, and let's look at 4 through 6. Ezekiel chapter 9, verses 4 through 6. Okay, and it says, and Yahuwah, and again, Zion, just stop the video if you need to get the verse. That's all. Ezekiel chapter 9, verses 4 through 6. And Yahuwah said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Yasharalim, and set a tab upon, or mark upon, the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite, let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children. Oh, that's so mean. God can't kill little children. Then it goes on to say, and women, but come not near any man upon whom the tab or the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. That means at his house, Zion. Those, us, he's talking about his people. We are the sanctuary, Zion. We are the church. And it says, then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. And this is going on constantly, Zion. I'm telling you, The Most High is putting a mark upon his chosen people. So when he sends that angel of death, it's going to be slaughter across the masses. It's going to be slaughter across the globe to include our people that want to do wickedness. So, we're not exempt either, Zion. Just because we're descendants of Hebrew slaves, we're not exempt. We can't do wickedness. We can't return wickedness for wickedness. And, the Most High is going to avenge his people. And he's going to do what he needs to do. And the whole world is going to know it. The whole world is going to be mind-boggled at it. Okay, so let's go to Luke. Luke chapter 1 and verses 70 through 71. And let's look at that. Luke chapter 1 and verses 70 through 71. And he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. So what has been this message ever since our forefathers fell? Deliverance, deliverance, deliverance. The Most High used the prophets to get this message out, and the Most High sends his angels to fulfill those prophecies, the words that Yahuwah speaks through his prophets.
Brother, read that again for us, please.
Read that again. As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. Because the Bible says that we're hated among all nations. This was Luke 1:70 and 71. We're hated among all nations. All these nations hate us, but our people keep trying to wrap their arms around them while getting slapped and hit in the face with bricks and stones, still trying to get them to accept them. It's not going to happen. You cannot force yourself upon nations that don't like you, Zion. When are you going to ever learn that? Whenever are you going to get that in your head, that you cannot force someone to love you, especially if they hate you? And our people are just sick in the head. All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34. Matthew 10 and 34. It says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I am come not to send peace, but a sword. In other words, the Most High is not coming with roses and kisses, Zion, like many of our people believe in Christianity. That's not going to happen. The Most High is coming with fury. He's coming with destruction. And, the Bible says that there's a time for everything. There's a time for singing. There's a time for war. There's a time to kill. Right now, it's not time for singing right now. It's the Most High is preparing for war. And he's getting ready to put it on these heathen nations. All right, so let's go to Luke. Luke chapter 12. Luke chapter 12 and verse 51. It says, suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. Why do this a precept to that are the wheats and the tares. The wheats and the tares shall grow together into harvest time. It's almost harvest time, Zion. So don't think that I talk about Hebrews coming together, and when I say that, I'm talking about like-minded Hebrews, brothers and sisters that are led by that are truly led by the Ruach. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying Hebrews in that like manner are going to come together. Because not all Hebrews are going to come together. Okay, there's too much confusion right now. There's too much false doctrine. There's too much. There's too many devils that are impersonators in this awakening, Zion. And that's the way it is. The Bible said that was going to happen. And even Judas played a part during his day. And we have our Judases today. Those who will sell us out in a heartbeat, even within Zion. We have our Judases. And Satan even has a part to play, Zion. Somebody has to be the scapegoat. Somebody has to take on all the sins and be cast out forever. So, don't get it twisted, and we just got to make sure that we're not a part of that. so we don't get cast out along with Satan. So let's go to Psalms 83, 1 through 5. And you all know this one. Psalms 83 and verses 1 through 5. And it says, keep not thou silence, O Yahuwah, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahuwah. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasharel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And like I said, we're seeing all this stuff happening to our people, and then we're griping and complaining about it like it's just now happening. But yet, and it's crazy. We complain, but we still fail to do nothing. We don't make an effort to try to start our own business or try to create something for our own people, for our own people to enjoy, so they don't have to keep begging from the heathens. But yet we just sit back, oh, that's terrible. Oh, that person's a racist. But then we ain't doing nothing. We just sitting there, And it's like we're getting slapped in the face and can't do anything about it. Yeah, you can do something about it, Zion. Stop supporting these heathens. That's what we can do. Stop giving them your money. Until that happens, our people are going to continue to spend billions of dollars for these pagan holidays every Christmas, and these old wicked holidays are coming up. And watch, our people are going to be at a record high, spending probably $5 billion this time on this wicked Christmas holidays. Our people just, man, it's a wonder that we're not all destroyed right now. All right, so let's go to, let's see here. All right, so let's go to Luke chapter 13. Luke chapter 13. I'm just going through my notes here because I have a lot of stuff, Zion. All right, Luke chapter 13, verses 26 through 28. It says, then shall ye begin to say, we have eaten and drunk in thy presence, and thou hast taught in our streets. But he shall say, I tell you, I know you not whence you are. Depart from me, all ye workers of iniquity. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth when ye shall see Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and all the prophets in the kingdom of Yahuwah, and you yourselves thrust out. And that's why y'all think I'm hard on these camps, and I'm really not, because the word of the Most High is very plain and simple. When you take your people and you give your heritage away, and you blaspheme the Most High's name, that's a serious thing. And you can know all these scriptures from front to back. I see these guys on the street corners, throwing out scriptures left and right. Even Satan knows the scriptures. But that ain't going to mean nothing, like I said earlier, if you don't have the Ruach, Zion. You cannot understand this word at all if you don't have the guidance of the Ruach upon you. You just can't. And I know how these cats operate. And it's not the people, the followers, they're just robots. They're just dummies. It's these leaders that know better, but yet they don't want to change because they're so proud in their hearts that they want to keep deceiving their followers. All right, so let me look at the next scripture here. So let's go to Exodus chapter 23 and verse 22. Exodus chapter 23 and verse 22. And it says, but if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversaries. And see, Zion, is simple. All we have to do is just obey the Most High. I mean, why is that so hard for our people to just obey the words of the Most High? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because we want to do our own thing. We got our own agenda. But it's simple. I mean, it would be an honor and a blessing to be able to obey the Most High. Because he said that he will be an enemy. If we obey to do all that he asks, he will be an enemy unto our enemies. The Most High fights for us, brothers and sisters. We won't even have to lift a finger. Not even the hairs of our head will be touched. All right, so let's go to Job 9:24. Job 9:24. And it says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And this is why we don't need, like it says in Proverbs 3:31, we don't need to be envying the oppressor and choosing his ways, Zion. It says, choose none of his ways. So, this world is doomed. It's, this is, we're at the bottom. The heathens are ruling right now, but this is slowly being turned. But, we're still at the bottom. That doesn't change anything until the Most High comes back and destroys and takes this kingdom down by force and brings it all down. And so now we have to do the best we can, because we don't have nothing we can call our own, except for the word of the Most High and what he has given us. And it's a shame that it's come down to that. We can't even have our own businesses now. We can't even enjoy that, the fruit, the fruits of our hands, because of our wickedness. All right, let's go to Psalms. Psalms chapter 55. And let's go to verse 19. Yeah, that's what I want to go to. Psalms 55, verse 19. And it says, Yahuwah shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old, because they have no changes, therefore they fear not Elohim. These heathens don't care about our Elohim. They have no regard, no fear whatsoever. They're spiritless. They're empty. So it's just getting crazy and crazy, Zion. So let's go to second Esdras, chapter 6, and let's look at verses 7 through 9. Second Esdras, chapter 6, and verses 7 through 9. It says, Then answered, and I said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? Verse 8, And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. 9, verse 9, For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So, we're starting, as we're waking up, and as the Most High is awakening his people, these curses, as we're getting back to the Torah, these curses are slowly, I said slowly, not quickly, but slowly falling off, and as the years go by, the Most High is going to make us even more stronger, more powerful, to the point where he's going to reveal us to the whole world. And it's going to happen just like that, So let's go to Isaiah chapter 34 and verses 4 through 5. Isaiah 34, verses 4 through 5. And it says, And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That sounds like a nuclear holocaust, Zion. The heavens shall roll together as a scroll. What kind of weapon, what kind of destruction that can make something do that? And it says, And all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Edom and upon the people of my curse to judgment. And that's crazy. The Most High is getting ready to drop the hammer. It's going to be hammer time. All right, so let's go to Psalms chapter 58 and verse 3. Psalms chapter 58 and verse 3. And it says, The wicked are estranged from the womb. they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Now, that's deep right there. It says the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So that means they born on this earth wicked. And that's crazy. That's Psalms 58:3. All right, so let's go to Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 25, verse 7. And I love this one. And that's Ecclesiasticus 25 and verse 7, or Sirach in your Apocrypha. It says, there be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. It says, a man that has joy of his children, and he that lives to see the fall of his enemies. And these are the enemies that oppress us, Zion. So yes, we are allowed to rejoice at the fall of our enemies. A man that has joy of his children, and he that lives to see the fall of his enemies. And I'm telling you, Zion, we're that generation that's going to see the destruction of our enemies. Now, it might not happen within the next 2 or 3 years or so, or even after that, but I truly believe that we are the generation that's going to see that. We're going to witness it with our own eyes. And we're already starting to see a lot of the things that are taking place right now, right before our very eyes. And I'm telling you, just pay attention to Israel, Zion, because things are getting ready to go down over there. You know, their slip has been showing since the early 70s. Their slip has been showing, Zion. It's getting shorter and shorter. All right. So, you know, we as a people, we got to prepare ourselves and get ourselves ready, Zion, because I mean these are some exciting times that we are living in. All right, so let's go to Enoch. Let's go to Enoch, chapter 62, verses 12 to 15. This is one of my many favorites. And it says, all the kings, the princes, the exalted, and those who rule over all the earth shall fall down on their faces before him, and shall worship him. They shall fix their hopes on this son of Adam, shall pray to him and petition him for mercy. Then shall Yahuwah Sabaoth hasten to expel them from his presence. Their faces shall be full of confusion, because they're gonna be like, wait a minute, you know, I thought we were the people. I thought we were Christians. We were doing all these works and all this kind of stuff. And they're going to see that face. They're going to see as a black face, boy, confusion is going to fall all over them. So then shall Yahuwah Sabaoth hasten to expel them from his presence. Their faces shall be full of confusion, and their faces shall darkness cover. The angels shall take them to punishment, that vengeance may be inflicted on those who have oppressed, for those who have oppressed his children and his elect, oppressed his children and his elect. And then it goes on to say, and they shall become an example to the Kodashim and to his elect. Through them shall these be made joyful. We're going to be made joyful. We read that in a similar verse, that we're going to be joyful, Zion, of the fall of our enemies. For the anger of Yahuwah Sabaoth shall rest upon them. Then the sword of Yahuwah Sabaoth shall be drunk with their blood, but the Kodashim and elect shall be safe in that city. And I truly believe that it's going to be the wilderness. Nor the face of the sinners and the wickedness shall they thenceforward behold. The Most High is going to have us in a safe place, Zion, while he's destroying the wicked, and while the wicked is destroying one another through nuclear holocaust. There's going to be total chaos all around us, but we're going to be safe. The Most High is going to keep us safe because his power is going to protect us. And that's going to be a joy. That's going to be a joyous moment, Zion, to see something like that, to be able to witness such great powers. All right, so let's go to Matthew, because I want to get more detail what's going to happen with these wheats and the tares. Matthew chapter 13 and verses 40 through 43. And it says, "As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels." I hear that? The Son of Man shall send forth his angels. That means that's going to be the angels of death. "And they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear." That's going to be a horrific sight to see something like that. All right, let's get another one. There's one. I'm trying to find it right now. It's one I wanted to show you. Let's see here. No, it's not Jubilees. Let's see. Hold on for a minute. I think it's in Timothy, second. Yeah, okay. So go to 2 Timothy. Go to 2 Timothy chapter 2. 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 19. That's what I'm looking for. Verse 19. And it says, "Nevertheless, the foundations of Yah stand sure, having this seal, Yahuwah knows them that are his. And let everyone that names the name of Yahuwah depart from iniquity." So that's what I want to show you. So the Most High knows who belongs to him, Zion. I'm telling you, the blessings are going to fall upon those, and the Most High is going to set that mark and that seal upon those of us, our foreheads, those of us who are truly in this walk, who are truly about this walk, and not just talking it, Zion. And like I said earlier, we're going to see the real is going to come out. We're going to see who are the fakes, and we're going to see who are truly real. We're going to see who's about this paper, and we're going to see who's truly about sacrifice.
Brother, we have gotten to the point again where we have to wrap this up. When we go deep, time seems to fly, but it's all a part of the kingdom work for ABBA YAH. We ask now that you give us a closing word on who is truly about walking with Yah.
Zion, because only time will tell. Only time will tell. You let YouTube shut down right now. You let YouTube shut down for like a year or something like that. Most of these Hebrews wouldn't even be able to survive because their whole ministry depends upon these social media. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them, and so that's why we're going to see where the real test comes in at. We got to feed our families and things like that. We're going to see. And, when you get into a certain situation, I heard people say, well, I would never do that. You'd be surprised what you do when you're in that situation. I've known brothers who never said they would sell drugs, but end up selling drugs, to feed their little children. The pressure. And that's why we have to be real with the Most High. That's why we have to, Zion, trust in the Most High. That's important. I stress that all the time because if we lack any kind of trust in the Most High, then we're going to do stuff that we've never thought we would do before. Because when we practice our faith and we practice trusting in the Most High, we're going to depend totally upon the Most High, and we know He's going to always provide for us. And that's the best way I can explain it to you. So that's what we got to do. We got to really practice that and put that into work, Zion. Putting our faith in the Most High. I can't stress that enough. That is so important because when this stuff hits the fan, what are you going to do? You can't feed your families. All of a sudden, the pressure is coming on. You got to do something. You're going to go out and do something stupid, or you're going to trust in the Most High.
Brother, we appreciate you walking with us on this second week of Yah is preparing the chosen for power. Next week, we'll cover fleeing versus waiting on the Most High. We look forward to meeting you again. So we say, Toda Rabba. Yah willing, we'll see you in 7 days.
So with that being said, Zion, I really pray that you are edified. I pray that you got fed. I know I did. I'm going to say shalom.
Shalom, brother.
And stay strong.
To all those who made it here on Shepherd and Sheep, we pray that we return for episode 3, which will wrap up this lesson. As we can see, there's a lot of information that was covered. So let's go back and watch this again and write the verses down. Then allow Yah to guide us as we read them. There'll be helpful links down below. Feel free to leave a positive comment to help support the sheep. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. For now, we say Shalom and stay strong.